Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities Skylines once more, to our glorious city. Yeah, well, quite nice insights so far. I think we have around 35,000 people at this point. When we look at the traffic, it's still 70+%, so I'm happy with that for now. And in the last episodes, we kind of like created all of this area here. So the mining grounds, the forestry area, this new district that we have now, the suburbs that are a bit further outside. And I would just like to continue here. And yes, some of you have been pointing out that, well, something is vitally missing here once more, and that is parking space. Now, one thing that I would like to do is I would like to combine this with a special building though, with the parking space. So in this area here, right, we do have lots of green stuff still, and we have the train that is getting out here. So that's not looking so great. The train at the moment, I mean, I would like to keep the tracks there because in every city you kind of like have train tracks. And what we can do with that is, I would like to hide it though a bit, right? We got a few interesting options for that. In most cases, it's just those trees here that we can then have. And I'm just going to find me a right tree that we could use for this, like that one. We are going to reduce the spacing there for these trees. Right, yeah, that's perhaps a bit too narrow. I mean, these are trees after all, right? That looks about right. And then I'm just going to plop this one right next to my tracks. And in this case here, because there's going to be houses right next to it, and I just really would like to get those trees as a kind of like a buffer, right? I don't think we're actually going to have any street that goes over that or something like that. There is a bit of a problem. I think we need to activate our anarchy for this. There you go. And then I can squeeze it in. I mean, it is a bit close to the tracks there, isn't it? Let's actually get rid of all of the trees here. That makes it just so much easier to plan ahead there, right? We got a nice small curvature in this beside the tracks that I have to keep in mind, and we definitely should keep a bit of a distance there to the tracks if I want to have the trains going without any incidents. Alright, so we're just going to try and maintain a bit of a distance there, but narrow enough that it looks like it belongs to the tracks. It's actually quite a distance there. Right, that's a bit better because this goes all the way out now, and then I have to do essentially the same thing on the other side. There you go, much better, and there's also some space now, and people don't necessarily have to see the tracks right away. So this is working out. And right next to that we have then here the office space, and that should work out just fine as well. As we can see, they can be built and the trees will still stay there. And I'm probably, first of all, I don't need this power line there anymore. That was a relic of past times. Right, no longer needed. And what we can do here along this one is basically, let's have some lower commercials there. Office I really don't want to have there anymore. Let's just go for people who would like to live here. I mean, they don't have to, right? They know the tracks are there and they will just have to live with it. Wait a second, what we can also do is let's just get rid of this one and perhaps this one, and add some higher density there as well, so that there's still the transition phase a bit more pronounced for the suburbs. Right, so this is actually all office, which is not so ideal. Let's have some commercials there as well. And then we still have this whole area there that I would like to continue with this. And it's probably going then all the way to that. I'm not going to make... Do we need to make a junction there? Probably not. There's not going to be a lot of traffic getting out of this one. And I'm just basically going to have here in the center more. So this should still be a bit higher density there, right? Perhaps to this point. And this one just goes a bit straight over there. Right. There's still a bit more higher density because this is going to be the suburbs then over there. We have the forestry area there at the moment, but I'm just going to get rid of that eventually then here. So erase it. We can get rid of that. I mean, we got lots of trees there, right? Would be still be nice. Still, I want to make this one a bit smaller there, so that we have a bit more space then for other things that we can do. Now, that means that we have a few more expansions that we can do there. Do we have a school close by? I think we have. Yep, we have our suburban school district over there, right? With the leisure center as well. Something where people can enjoy the day. And we still don't have any real... Yeah, that's too close to it. We're just going to add some trees to this area, right? And some... Yeah, definitely some bushes and stuff like that, because we do want to have a bit of separation. So I definitely want to have something massive here. So like this big tree that is also kind of like adding as a buffer to this whole zone, right? And then we get some bushes there leading to the sauna. So after all, this is a bit of a leisure area, and it should look like it, that we have lots of green stuff around here, lots of bushes. There you go. And on that side there too, close to the sauna. That's basically going to be separated with these bushes here. That's looking much better. And then we also have some naked space. Empty space. Let's just have some, well, let's make it a double row of bushes. Looks just much better. And then also, once again, the trees that we can have, and just along that right here, so that the swimming pool is looking a bit more natural. And look at that. Yep, it's just much betterable. There's an occasional train passing by at the moment, but you know, there's going to be houses there eventually, right? So that's this zone. And then we have still, that's lots of office space, commercials. That's fine. We're going to keep it like that. In this area, I would like to have then probably some more higher density once more. So we can just go ahead and have this one a 2 tile high density. Let's see if there's actually buildings growing out of that. That would be quite interesting. And then here as well. Just like that, and probably here. Right, and it's all going to be surrounded by normal commercials then and stuff like that. Here we can also have some of them. Actually, this area, let's keep this one off. It's not needed here. Then it's just that one. Right, this just basically goes all the way to that side, and then it's probably going into... Nope, this should still all be high density, I think. Yep, we're still going to make this one high density living space. It's going all the way to that side there. There you go, all the way up to this area there with some lower density, and funny enough, the low density buildings appear first. And the high density, well, still takes a bit of time. Now, of course, this still needs to grow a bit before it looks like anything that would be nice to the eye. Let's just add some trees right away so they can get deleted then anyway. Adding some density to the whole area. There you go, much better. And also more trees to the tracks. I'm not going to build anything on these sides there, so this is really just tracks. We might have something else though, since this is looking really like you would have to travel a huge distance to get to that side there, at least as a pedestrian. So we could have a nice pedestrian road that just goes to the other side connecting those two districts, or we just make a road. Let's actually make a road, I think, so for both parties there. Let's go with the normal road that we already have, and we will just need to have this one. I'm going to add a bit of elevation there. I think 10 meters should be fine. Can we actually connect this one? Or I will need to do this differently. So there you go, we have a connection. It's a bit difficult there because of the very small space that we have only on that side. And left and right, there's basically then just going to be some trees and stuff like that. But in general, people can go over that. Same with cars, and that's the important thing for this one. Let's just add some trees. This one's definitely not going to stick around there. So these tall ones, that's definitely a bit better there. Overall, there we got the connection. As we can see, the first people already used that. So who are you? He's going around with a chainsaw by the looks of it, right? Yep, this guy's just going around with a chainsaw. He's a trainee at the forestry main building, and he just basically wants to tell the world that he is a trainee at the forestry main building by running around with a chainsaw. Alright, Dexter, no problem. I mean, he's called Dexter. He might have other things in mind with the chainsaw. Alright, so this one is growing. There's a bit of water problem once more. Let's just add this one. Fill in the gaps. There you go. And then we will have more suburbs than just in this area to finish this one. Very good. So the current goal was to build something in here. So let's get rid of that road. I do have another mall that I would like to add to this one, the Mall of Moderation. It's not so posh, but has lots of small cheap shops that we can use with it. Let's just squeeze in the Mall of Moderation into this area. So there you go. As a new landmark, I'm going to get rid of the commercials basically here. We don't really need them there, so off you go. And the same goes with you guys here and you guys. Righto. This one definitely needs to go. Actually not a bad looking mall. It has its own parking space already, but we're just going to add more parking space because that's basically what we need in this game, right? Lots and lots of parking space for my people. I'm going to start here and I hope that we can actually make this one work. Let's just see. I'm probably going all the way here. Here. Yeah. Here. And all the way down to the actual mall. And this is not looking good. Oh, there you go. There we got some proper parking space. I'm just going to get rid of these ones here, as there might be some other buffer or something like that. The only problem is here that where I would like to have a bit of a connection. Should we have a connection there for pedestrians? That it might be just nice to have something over here, so people can go directly to their places. Here, this one we probably need to connect there just a tiny bit, make it like so. Yep, that's good. Now we have a connection with the parking space essentially. So probably going to be the best. There you go. We can actually make this one by moving this road a bit further up there to the north, stretching the whole parking space there, and make the connection with the pedestrian path, making basically a block here of concrete, right, where people can walk around. And then, of course, we're filling in the gaps with some bushes. So let's go right into that. There you go in all its glory. A new parking space. Lots of cars already coming to it for the mall. By the way, the mall parking space meanwhile has filled up to its maximum as well. So this one is working. I hope it's not creating as much traffic as the opera house, the cinema, or whatever it was at the casino actually happened there, right? Holy mining has also reached level 3. Perfect. We got the electronics factory. That sounds interesting. And the rotary kiln plant. We'll just see about that later. I just like that we have now the parking space here. I hope some of you are happy that I'm adding that now more and more to the city there. We have this road here, by the way. I don't think that anyone is going to use that with their cars, right? They should not. I mean, I'm not going to prohibit it with that though. So, you know, we do have the traffic rules, but I don't think anyone is going to use this road as it's leading to nowhere. This is really just for pedestrians to get to the other side more quickly, creating this nice plaza area that we have all around that. Just behind our mall of moderation. I guess I would be curious what kind of products you get in there if it's all about moderation. No idea. Now we got some very other important things to do. One of them is a service that we completely neglected so far. And that is the post service, right? We don't have any post service in my city so far, and holy cow, people of course need to send letters, and most importantly, Amazon packages or whatever you might want to order, and we definitely do need to have some stuff for that. And we do have the historic post office there. I'm probably going to have 2 of them. I like the look of it, so we are going to squeeze in the historic post office into proper location. So the first one probably here in one of my starting districts, right? We can have this office then somewhere, yeah, closer here to the exit point as well, so people can actually get their packages done quickly. So let's get the first one done right here in the town center. Let's actually move this one. Can we move this one as much as possible? Yeah, somewhere over there. There should still be, yep, some room around that. This is going to be primary. Let's have some offices there actually to fill in the void. For this building here, and on the back we might just add once again our famous trees and whatnot. So this is right here in the town center. Do we not have bigger trees there, please? They all look rather small at the moment. That's too much clipping there. That's better. There you go. We have that one now. This is providing the first one, and I guess we can just get another one somewhere further on the other side. Yep, here in my density district right there, we have some proper space where you can actually squeeze it in just perfectly fine. Beside the pedestrian path there, so people can, you know, they don't have to take the road necessarily. Let's squeeze it in as close as possible to the pedestrian path so that there is a connection, so that this one works then here too. Then we just have offices surrounding it, which is perfectly fine. Let's get rid of this so there's a new bigger building appearing then. And this zone there is a golden too. So this is the postal services now, and we can sort mail up to 100,000 of it, and the first vans are already in use as well, so they're getting out here on the streets. On that side here, I guess that's the entrance point there for this office. And hopefully this solves a bit of my postal problem. Look at that, they don't even have that much of a range really. So this one we could have then, that's a sorting facility. I could also go for a smaller one, a USPS post office that actually has some parking space close by. So let's get this one cracking. Yeah, right here somewhere in the center. There was actually just some lower density area here too. And this one, by the way, yep, that's another block here that I would like to, you know, remodel then soon with some higher density buildings and stuff. Let's have the road going here so that it does make a smaller connection, right? So that we have the entrance point there as well. And this one then just goes basically all the way up here, adding some more density to this whole zone. And right here in the center, get rid of that. Add some offices. I just like to have offices close to these post services. Just fits in more evenly. There you go. So there you go. Another office building, and hopefully it should definitely make people happy. We're at 38,000 now. Perfect. So there's more people moving in, of course, with more happiness. But also, of course, we got the new district flowing now on that side. And this is starting to look like something here too, right? As we have the end basically for that. Now, once again, we need to totally get the Hickory Heights a bit further over there, so that we apply any kind of building theme to it, close to the Cedar Park. And then we probably just create a new one here. That's going to be the outermost area, right? The Brook Square. That's not a good name. Hillside Garden. That's much better. And this one is going to be all about suburbs then in that area. Oh, water availability meanwhile has gone completely down the drain. And in that case, we do need more. We already got 4 pumping stations at this river, pumping out any kind of water that we have. It could be time now to get the lakes finally into my area then, right? We don't have them yet. And this will be very important soon, because we can't endlessly pump out water off that poor river. We'll have, I just need another pumping station there. We're going to have this one further up here, actually on the other side. There you go. Bit of pumping, and also then the power, of course. The power, there it is. Can the wind turbine supply 2 of them? The wind turbine is producing at the moment 8 megawatt. This one is producing 7 megawatt, and we have a consumption for... Doesn't really say that, right? 240 kilowatt. Easy. Easy. So there is not even a shortage here. We can get... Oh, it's actually 9 megawatt. It's producing more than it actually could do, theoretically. And it will supply quite a lot of pumping stations there if I want to. Perfect. So that's a bit more water coming in. Not a lot. Not a lot, though. There you go. We will have to work on that again soon. Traffic flow is not decreasing meanwhile, so we are at 75%. It's actually going up. I can only see a bit of a clog up here, but it's tiny, right? So that's just normal, you might say, coming from a highway, that there's a bit of traffic waiting to enter the roundabout. That's just like in any common city, and I like that. It's fine to see that. It would be problematic if it goes all the way to the highway and stuff like that. We should not allow that. Let's add some trees to this area here. It's looking a bit naked, and I don't like naked space, especially in the city. There you go. Adding a bit more, and then we get the spruce hills here that are still a bit naked. It looks like it might be an industrial district, kind of like it's close to the cargo station. I hate industrial districts so close to the city because they're really dirty and polluty. So I'm just going to make an office and commercial district there once more. And then we probably go with a few more. It's difficult. We could make an amusement park right here in the center. It would make sense. Amusement parks are rather close by. It's also close to the stadium then. So you kind of like at the amusement park. And then the agricultural district. Could be an option. I don't like the idea of having residents living in Spruce Hills though. So I will need to think about something what I'm going to do with that zone there. This zone here, that's definitely the classical office stuff and buildings like that. We're going to have a few residents, of course, close by so that we can spread the traffic a bit. Do we have water? No, we don't. So let's just get the water flowing first. Into this area, and then into this area there, and we continue with those pipes then along the road. There you go. And school wise, I mean, we are going to have some residents here. There's no school really. Having a smaller elementary school probably makes sense somewhere here, right? And then we got the residents living here. This is also going to be once again a high density because we still are too far into the city to suggest or to actually justify lower densities. Here, that's just going to be some commercials and office. As I said, it's also an office zone for those people. And definitely here, close to the tracks for the cargo. What to do with those rocks? We might just keep them like this and have the buildings popping up around it. I think that's going to be the best option that we have here. And probably, nope, this is all really office. I would just like to have this one like, oh, actually, let's keep this one available. Let's keep this one empty there for now, because I don't think it would look good to have buildings there. And then a few more commercials. Let's also have some lower density commercials there. I mean, this is not really a pretty area right now, right? This is where cargo traffic is. There's lots of industry not that far away, lots of traffic. So I don't think this is a high value area in general. We could increase the value just a tiny bit by adding a park or something like that. Right now, yeah, it's almost low. It's almost low here. Like here, it's low. So that's not very appealing district at the moment. We might add some smaller offices and stuff like that to that. So these guys, and then perhaps we have a special building. Oh, that looks pretty cool. A data mining agency. So that is a building that we could use especially for these narrow roads that we have there. And I think it would just work fine. It also increases the land value, of course. Let's get rid of one of these rocks here, right? So it just would look very good in this area, I think. There you go. That's a really cool looking building, and it just fits very nicely here close to the cargo tracks that we have then. And on the back we got some of these rocks there. We could then well, have some bushes then basically in this area. Nothing out of the ordinary. Do we have some higher density bushes? We'll just have to plaster them like that, I guess. Just behind it, right? It's a very sophisticated looking office building there in general. And then some trees Kind of like a little park area where you can look out while you work on your data or whatever they're doing. Servers, perhaps they have some server architecture in there and are just using that. There you go. This is looking much better than having a bit of a forest behind that. Also close to the rocks then. That looks kind of like natural on that side now. This one is really, I mean, let's just see how much traffic this one creates. I'm very, very cautious now about these landmark buildings because I have a bad history, bad memory with them. Business park entrance sounds also pretty cool, so we could make a smaller business park out of that. We get basically lots of buildings that we can still place here. So this, I definitely want to have it like a bit of an office district looking one, right? Stuff like that. Perhaps not a skyscraper, that would not look so great, but I like this one. And left and right there's office buildings appearing, and we'll just see how that looks then by the end of it. And then we got a few residents here living too, for those that really need that. I mean, it's close to that, right? And then perhaps, yeah, more offices. Basically this is really all about offices and some commercial here, so people can also purchase stuff if they need to, and probably more office than just here. And around the rock, let's actually have some residents living here, because this is a quieter area and this is fine then for some residents that could live here then. I'm curious how this one turns out. We're just going to come back here in a couple of minutes, and then this will be fully developed, and in between, of course, we got our trees then as well. So this is not looking so naked. Need to get rid of them again because I had the anarchy activated. Always a bit problematic because then it's starting to clip into everything, and we don't want that. Now much better. Great. I like how this one is really looking then. I'm going to actually get rid of any kind of trees here. I mean, this is after all a bit of an industrial zone, or a bit of an office zone, not industrial. So it should look also a bit barren there sometimes, right? As they look in real life. I just might, the only thing that I might actually do here is adding some bushes and stuff like that to the cliffs there, the edges that we have. So that this one looks a bit more natural, but that's basically it. Just along this one here, we can have a couple of them. Right, so looking a bit better than already, but in that case here, I'm just waiting now for this one to really get cracking. Needs electricity. I'm confident that once the buildings appear, we don't need that here close by. Stay tuned.